Misakalake, misakaloko, agbadomi amaloko. 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 Hi guys, this is lesson 4 of Ewè Orò class. I'm Oshunfemi and my passion is Ewè study. Ewè has Ashe, or all Ewè have Ashe, right? The plants are so powerful that we have all heard of their famous workings, right? We all in this religion or in this tradition, we all know something about plants, right? And it's just like the natives. The natives have always used plants to address emotional, mental, physical issues and to improve their lives. But unfortunately, like I said before, we know that this knowledge is stolen from them by Western science, from, their testimonies and from seeing their results for the creation of certain medications. So we have a lot of medication out here, in the stores. They all came from our natives, right? The indigenous people. Like Africans, the age-old civilizations, Yoruba Empire, for instance, well, they have discovered that in nature, they can find answers to their difficulties. They understood that. They always knew that Mother Nature was the only source available to overcome the difficulties, to alleviate their suffering and to reach their goals. Because we believe that, we're not really supposed to suffer, right? There's always something that we can do to relieve that suffering or to make it at least less, right? And also, when we look at other indigenous people like Indians, right? In Brazil, in the Amazon, and in the Americas, the rest of the Americas, we all know that they were great masters, or they are, because they still exist, right? Indians in the Amazon. They're great masters of Mother Nature, and they are able to find answers to their difficulties in nature. We can also go further, right? When we look at ancient civilizations, right? Like ancient Egypt, like 5,000 years ago, Egyptians used plants even in the process of mummification to preserve the bodies of their kings, and so forth and so forth. So if the human race, through its intelligence, right, perception and knowledge, because these indigenous people, they just went out in nature and they just observed nature, and they got inspired, they were in touch with nature, and so therefore they knew instinctively that it had power and they could use it to their benefit. So if the human race, through its intelligence, right, has always done this, if all our people have always done this, then it leaves us no doubt that we have a heritage to turn to, because we live on the shoulders of the ones that came before, right? It's ancestry. So we believe in ancestors and ancestors' reference, and we build on the knowledge of our ancestors. Our ancestors discovered things, and this goes on, right? So we have no doubt that we have a heritage and that we can turn to and also benefit from, right? We can benefit from the wisdom of our ancestors to seek answers from Mother Nature, right? To overcome our difficulties and to achieve our goals. It's like when I was a little kid, I was 6 years old, I think, 6, maybe 5. I'm not really sure. When I was very young and I was in Brazil, I witnessed my grandmother going to the backyard, praying to plants and talking to the plants, harvesting them and making medicine. She made medicine and then she would give it to one of the family members that at the time that was sick in bed, and seeing them getting better. And this was always imprinted in my mind, and this is, I think I got it from that. My passion for Ewè, it's in my genes, right? It's from my ancestors. I have indigenous Indian ancestors as well, so it always fascinated me. So what we are learning here is precisely that side that these indigenous peoples, right, have always used to treat their emotional and mental state, including all the factors that can limit it. So we can take advantage of all this improvement, right? It's all these improvements to improve our lives, and above all, to be able to transcend our physical limits as well, and to overcome our difficulties, and to attract protection, to attract healing, to attract luck in all areas of our lives. So this is a very fascinating way of looking at plants, and it gives hope, and it gives a sense of security, I guess, a sense of trust in Mother Nature. And so we got a lot to learn from this ancient wisdom, right, from our ancestors. And this is why ancestors' reverence is very important.